What's up, everybody? Groovy Pants here with our first review. Actually, we're gonna be reviewing Evil Dead Rise. You probably already seen reviews and whatnot. Probably already seen the movie. It's been out for a minute, but we're gonna start here because we love Evil Dead here. Uh, First, there's gonna be spoilers. So if you haven't seen it and you do care about spoilers, then go ahead and turn it off this video. Not then, if either you've seen it or you just don't care. So we're gonna start here. The reviews are good. We have a certified fresh rating of 84% with 203 reviews. Audience score of 77% with 2,500 plus verified ratings. We're going to read some of these and then I'm going to go over kind of a description of the story, what's going on, and what I thought about it. And that's where probably the spoilers will kick in. First, we'll start with critics' consensus, offering just about everything longtime fans could hope for while still managing to carry the franchise forward. Evil Dead Rise is all kinds of groovy. Audience says Evil Dead Rise's intense horror and inventive gore help make up for a so-so story that downplays the franchise's signature humor. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna start with the critics. We'll do 5 and 5. We'll do 5 fresh and uh, 5 unfresh. Okay, let's see. Here's a good one. Connor Petrie said Evil Dead Rise is blood-soaked nightmare fuel that'll truly mess up some of the and deservingly be celebrated by the horror community. A seamless entry into the Evil Dead universe that continues the franchise's hot streak that's lasted more than 40 years. Let's see, we got Eric Estrada says Evil Dead Rise meets the parameters set by producers and executives that right now prevent the birth of new classics. Let's see. Here we go. Cheryl Eddy. Lee Cronin does Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell proud with his dark but not grim tale of deadites in Los Angeles. All right, we'll do one more fresh. Here we go. While it misses the brutality of the 2013 offering, this new Evil Dead film still hits all the notes you'd want from this ghoulishly fun franchise. So, for the most part, they all seem to kind of, it's good. Not the best, but it's good. It's a good addition. I agree with them. I mean, I think it was great, but we love the originals. But I do think it's a good mix between the originals and 2013. I'll say that. All right, now let's do some splatters. Rob Gonzalves, you can no longer be guaranteed a rowdy good time with this franchise. It has become rancid, humorless, and toxic. See Leonardo Garcia Thau said Cronin takes his actions to the height of excess. See Mike Ryan. It's like someone was given all the ingredients to the recipe to make an Evil Dead movie, but didn't know what temperature to cook it at. Okay. Finally, we'll do this one. Ruben Parata. I don't know. An entertaining but pale and annoying calculated composition that adapts iconic images and invokes a glamour that they never quite reach themselves. Well, agree to disagree. Okay, so we're going to do audience now. Actually, we'll do verified audience. All right. Let's see. We'll just read about, I don't know, a few of these. Okay, Alexander said it was very gross. There was a lot of blood and throwing up, which actually holds the record now for the most blood used in an Evil Dead movie. I kind of think like general. But we'll get into that later. It was very gross. There was a lot of blood and throwing up. It was kind of boring. I liked the cast and the special effects. Abdullah Alahi. I liked how fine Alyssa Sutherland was in this movie, but I disliked how loud the movie was. Well, that's just a dumb. It was too loud. Well, oh well, man. Watch it on your TV, dude. Turn the volume down, shit. Anyway, Matt said finally a true horror movie that doesn't try to be humorous too. Very bloody, very terrifying ways that caused the carnage. Enjoyed it, and it kept us on our toes. James H said it wasn't scary, a typical horror movie in this era. Oh, Damien C, 5 stars. Pedal to the metal horror. See this with a crowd right now. See, Latonia said it was well done. Didn't expect it to be. That's good. That's good. Here's a full one. We'll end it with this one. 2.5. So I thought the movie was cool and all, but a lot of budget on blood. Short hair girl didn't deserve the treatment she got. Poor girl just wanted a pizza, I think. But anyways, yeah, and a waste of eggs. Pretty horrific and quite possibly the longest 90 minutes I've had to see. Movie was definitely a movie. The scene was seen, and that my favorite part of this movie was when the Evil Dead Rise started rising. Good chainsaw usage, quite chainsaw-esque. Bravo, Vince. Share with friends. Please don't watch this alone. If you do, then I don't know, call your mom or or seek therapy. Yeah, or just like smoke a lot of cigarettes. Like start chain smoking. Okay. Anyways, 4 out of 10 movies wise. 7.4 out of 10 horror movie wise. Well, that was a odd one. Let's do one more. If I could give 6 stars, I would have. All right, we'll end it with that one. Okay, now get to the story. So it opens up typical cabin in the woods, kind of like it's like a newer looking cabin. Uh, girl gets possessed, as they always do. This starts out pretty quick. She's already possessed. They're like, oh, we should leave, yada yada yada. Well, the girl kills the other people, and she rises out of the lake, and then boom, logo Evil Dead Rise. Anyway, we'll get back to that. I'm not. You'll figure out why I'm not really covering that right now. We cut to Beth. Oh, she's the sister of Ellie and the aunt of Danny, Bridget, and Cassie, a guitar technician for a famous rock band. Beth's life took a drastic turn during a visit. Okay, yeah, we're gonna. But this is Beth. We start back. We end up with her first. Just her during some gig, and then she's in Los Angeles or San Francisco, sorry, and she goes to see her sister. She hasn't seen her in months and whatnot. She's all right. She's a pretty good character. I liked her. Typical heroine. Kind of hunky. She's pregnant, and by the way, that's like she's like hiding it. She's pregnant, but she's pregnant, which kind of comes in later, because the demon like knows it and starts messing with her. See, okay, this I didn't know this. Beth's first name is a homage to Embeth Davids, who portrayed Sheila in Army of Darkness, while her last name of Bixler is a reference to Dennis Bixler, who portrayed Linda in Evil Dead 2. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so she's great. Good. Like she's propped up. She's the hero. She's the Ash in this movie pretty much. There's always a shotgun, and there's also a chainsaw. However, there is no Delta. I know in 2013 there was kind of a Delta. It was supposed to be theirs after whatever. As a sequel to the first one where it showed Ash die and all that stuff. But to pay homage to the Delta, they had the chainsaw painted. The chainsaw is the same color as the Delta, so that's kind of their nod to it. But they didn't actually have one in there. Uh, After that, we cut to Ellie, star of the show. Ellie was the old sister of Beth and the mother of Bridget, Danny, and Cassie. Oh my goodness, there is a lot of stuff here. So anyway, she's divorced, or I don't know if they're married. I think they're married. I think she's. But anyway, the dad left. He just took off, and she tried to call Beth and tell her, but Beth wouldn't answer. Yada yada. Sisterly drama, but they do make up, and they're good time and stuff. Anyway, she's the Deadite. She is like the thing, the you know baddie. Let's see. Ellie is named after Ellen Sandwich, who portrayed Cheryl Williams in The Evil Dead, the first one. That's cool. Besides the name homage, Ellie's role in Evil Dead Rise is similar to Cheryl's in the original film. Both display a passion for artistry. True, she's like a tattoo artist. She's like shows her like she's like working on her tattoo gun and stuff. Both become the first to be possessed and are locked out of the main room. She gets locked out of the apartment finally after like they knock her out and drag her out and like they're like running from her. They lock her out and stuff. Which, okay, so there's other tenants. There's three. There's an old guy, a muscly dude, and I think the muscly dude's like brother or something, little brother. Don't get attached to them. She slaughters them, and as soon as she's possessed, she just slaughters these people. Like it's gruesome. She bites one's eye out, which is funny. A little snippet. The noise used for her biting his eye out is actually Bruce Campbell taking a bite out of an apple. I learned that. That was pretty cool. Anyway, and both are the sister of the film's protagonist, right? Ellie. She's the best sister. And but yeah, she gets possessed. She's the main one. She gets possessed. How that happens is our boy Danny here. So there's like this apartment complex is like falling apart. It's like in 2 months it's gonna get destroyed. So they're like trying to find a new place to live. It's a struggle because the dad left. Well, it was built on top of an old bank. So, and it's San Francisco earthquake. They go to get pizza. Danny, uh, Cassie, and Bridget. They go get pizza. On their way back, earthquake, like a big earthquake. It opens up the parking garage like a hole, which leads into the bank's vault. Well, Danny boy here decides, hey, I'm gonna climb down in there, and what does he find? But some old records. There's like 4 volumes of it, and he's a DJ. But sorry, let's just start with that. I guess he's a DJ. He's trying to be a DJ. Anyway, he's got like a DJ set up in his room. So he's like, cool records. I'm gonna, mix them up. So as he's going to leave, big jump scare, boom, scares him. He starts investigating, sees a bunch of crosses and stuff hanging from the ceiling and stuff. Then he finds this tomb. Well, the tomb has a rotten, like, I don't know if it's from the earthquake or just the old stone, but there's like a hole in it. He looks in there. What does he find? The Necronomicon. So, obviously he takes it and takes it back to their apartment and stuff. Pizza's ruined, by the way. It got all smashed up. They dropped it. And he's in his room with Bridget. She's like, "Hey," he's like looking at it at the book, and she's like, "You probably should, put that back or get rid of it." And like he's like, "Well, Mom's not gonna let us leave again tonight." And she's like, "All right, first thing in the morning, you're getting rid of that book." Right? Smartest thing I've heard anybody say in these. Anyway, obviously he doesn't. He doesn't actually read it. There's no like translation, nothing like he doesn't read a little note thing or whatever, or does like what they did in 2013 with the smudge. Uh, Instead, he plays the records, and the records are a bunch of priests that they find that found the book. Well, they actually explain why, or they tie this in with the rest of the franchise, so you can almost make it like canon, pretty much. So in Army of Darkness, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there is a scene where there's 3 Necronomicons. There's 3 volumes. There's 3 books. Well, this one is one of those 3. So it's not the one that Ash has, and it's not the one from the 2013 one. It's the third one. And anyway, he plays the next record, which is first the priests are like, "Oh, destroy it! It's called the Book of the Dead. Destroy blood." Well, the priests don't do it. They're like, "Nah, we're gonna read in secret because that's just intelligent." It plays the record where the priest is reciting it. Well, as he's reciting it, the record gets locked pretty much. Like he can't stop it from playing, and it starts saying the words. Well, as it's saying the words, you get the classic Endarian demon flying straight at Ellie, who's in the elevator trying to do laundry, which is where she gets possessed. At first they think she's sick. She goes in there. She's like, "I can't wait to cut you up and crawl inside you." Blah blah blah. And she's like, then she throws up and then passes out. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, she's burning." And then they thought she was dead, but she's not dead. She comes back, obviously, and she's like burning up to the point of her tub. She jumps, like she starts clinging this stuff, and then she's like, "Mommy's with the maggots now." Anyway, that's when there's a huge like fight between them. Bridget, the first to get attacked, she gets she at least gets her with the tattoo gun like on the face, uh, like licks it or affects her, and they finally get Ellie out of the apartment. They lock it, and then that's when she slaughters everybody on the floor. And then like for a lot of the movies, she's like banging on. She's like, "Let me in," blah 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 blah. Anyway, Bridget is the next to get possessed, so she's possessed, and they they kill her. Well, Cassie kills her with uh, a broken broomstick with a doll on it. It explains the whole point. It's to scare off ghosts or whatever. Anyway, stabs her, and then they're able to like take her out. They tie her, they wrap her up, they tie her up. Well, now they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So we're over here. He's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, it's this thing. I kind of messed up." And so she's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna listen to the other recordings to see if they know how to fix it." They don't. They basically say the typical, "Oh, you gotta dismember them," blah blah blah. But as she's listening to it, she's outside banging, and as she's listening to it, old Bridget gets back up. She's coming, charges after Cassie. Cassie gets, uh, Danny boy gets Cassie out of the way. Gets a knife, stabs Bridget. Boom, stabbed. Oh, wait a minute, but she's possessed. So she takes the knife out, stabs Danny. Well, now Danny's dying, but before he does, he lights her on fire and like knocks her out and stuff. Well, Danny dies. Now, not knowing what the hell to do, uh, Ellie climbs into the vent. So she's like, now she's in the room. So her and Beth get into a fight. They're like fighting it out. Beth is able to get Cassie and get her out of the room, shut it. She gets like the shotgun stuff. They're basically gonna try to go down a fire escape because the stairs were knocked apart by the earthquake, and the elevator is pretty much possessed. Like it's not letting anybody go. So they're trying to get through this abandoned apartment, so they can get to the fire escape and escape. Well, as they're trying to do that, Ellie is able to bust back out of the apartment. Well, she starts charging after Beth. Beth blasts her with the shotgun, just like dismembering her leg. And then she dismembers her arm, and then Ellie's like, doing the demon stuff. Well, as she's doing that, Danny and Bridget both join her. And they like crawl over to her and they're like, "Oh no," and then crying and they start laughing. And then everybody that's dead on the floor starts laughing. And this is the cool part. They pay homage to uh the original because then they start chanting "Dead by Dawn, Dead by Dawn." Well, as they're doing this, they start going after uh Beth and Cassie. They get in the elevator, starts to they hit the button, they get it to work, starts going down. Well, it starts filling up with blood, which is cool because it's basically like to the point where they're about to drown, and it reaches it hits capacity, and the elevator snaps. Weight capacity crashes to the bottom. You hear the ding, and the elevator doors open up, and you see the flood of blood, which is a nice call to The Shining when the elevators open and blood flows out. Neat because Sam Raimi credits Stephen King to the success of Evil Dead. Well, after that, they make it to the parking garage where they're like, oh, we gotta get the hell out of here. Well, during all this, the kids, Danny and Bridget, that's not Bridget, there's Bridget, uh, crawl into Beth, like they like fuse pretty much, and they're just like this amalgamation of limbs, and it's just nasty, dude. It's gnarly. Well, as they're trying out, boom, they come into the parking garage. Oh shit! So they're like the car's not working now. Oh damn! And they see a way out. They started to get the gate open. Well, now the gate's starting to close because it timed out. Like it's a parking garage. So they make a break for it. Well, Beth makes it. Fortunately, Cassie gets snagged, pulled back in. Beth busts down like like a girder thing, like a little piece of the side of the gate. Gets in there. Uh, she blasts the thing, whatever you want to call it, Ellie. It gets her attention. She's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get you." Cassie dips out. Beth goes to shoot again. Shot gets messed up. Chainsaw goes flying. Picks up the chainsaw. They're trying to push her. Well, they're trying to put Beth into this wood chipper that's in there or something. And Cassie's able to stall them long enough for Beth to get out of their grasp. She grabs the chainsaw and she's like, "Cassie, turn it on." And so Cassie flips it on. Beth rams the chainsaw into them and just slowly pushes them into like it's just starts shooting guts and blood everywhere, just all over the place. Finally, all that's left is Ellie's head, and she's like, "You're gonna be a terrible mom," blah blah, all this shit. And she keeps calling her a groupie, which she hates, because she's like, "I'm not a groupie, I'm a tech, whatever." Uh, so at the end, she's like, "I'm not a fucking groupie," and she like rams the chainsaw in like down into the skull of Ellie, killing her. Now there's blood everywhere. It's over. Finally, walks over, grabs Cassie, and she's like, "We're getting the hell out of here." But before they leave, she grabs that chainsaw and walks out with it. Boom, ending. Gotcha. Actually, it's not. Plot twist. There's end credits. The end credits, it shows somebody looks oddly familiar riding down the elevator, or riding down the elevator. Or I don't think actually it doesn't. No, it's like a separate elevator or something. I think. No, that's right. She goes to the elevator. The elevator is just like flashing, broken, so she takes the stairs. Well, she gets down there, and then as she's about to leave, she sees like the pool of blood and stuff. So she gets out. She's like, "What the hell?" She's looking, and then all of a sudden, from like 3 different sides, the demon, boom, hits her. Well, it's the chick from the beginning at the cabin. So this is how she originally got possessed. So the people at the cabin never had the book. She went there possessed. So it kind of makes it like the whole apartment thing was like a flashback from the beginning of the movie. So there's that part. Now that you kind of hope that you could make sense of all that, I get a little excited talking about this stuff sometimes. Now, my personal opinion, I loved it. Now, where would I rank it? I'd probably put it. I don't know. They all kind of have their own little like special things. Like it's hard to rank them. Obviously, I love the first one. I love the like that the ending of the second one, like that beginning where it's kind of like a weird recap kind of thing. I kind of usually skip that. Bruce said once, if you skip the beginning of Evil Dead 2 and cut to where it shows Ash flying through the woods, and you start that at right after Evil Dead 1, it's like a continuous. That's usually what I do, just because it's. I mean, it's only like 5 minute recap, but still. Uh, they all are at the top of the list. I don't really have a a ranking because they all do something different. They all do it very well. Uh, this one's not as serious as the 2013 one, but it is just as gruesome and just as horrifying, like scary. But it kept some of the humor from the originals. That's what I was saying. It's like a perfect mix between the 2013 and the originals. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you go see it. Uh, I loved it. It's actually out on Amazon Prime now, rentable, streamable. I'm sure it'll be out somewhere else where you probably find it online. I mean, I wouldn't do that because that's just not good. Don't pirate. Uh, but yes, definitely. If you haven't seen it and you love Evil Dead or just horror in general, it's a great movie. Just give it a chance. It's got some rough points. All the Evil Dead movies have little rough spots. No movie is actually like perfect. There's no perfect movie. So give it a chance. Just kind of like, yeah, there's some stuff where it's like, oh, well, that's kind of dumb, but it's whatever. It's a horror movie. They're all kind of dumb. Like the people in there are stupid. Uh, but yes, definitely check it out. Highly recommend it. Give it a 9 out of 10. Uh, but yeah, that's it. Thank you for tuning in to our first review. There'll be other reviews, and I'll also do like side by sides, like remakes, reboots, how they hold up against each other and stuff like that. I'm sure I know I'm not the only one who does that, but hopefully I do it good enough to get you guys to come back and like it. So if you want, leave a like, maybe even subscribe. If you want. But I'm gonna keep making these because I like talking about movies and stuff, regardless of what you do. Uh, yeah. Until the next time, you guys stay groovy, and I will catch you on the flip flop.
Chinese!